very special video today. It's all about bourbon hunting, and I'm smoking some meats today, baby. Bourbon and smoked meats. Oh yeah. Real fast, I want to thank all of my new subscribers for subscribing to the channel. I want to thank all of my other subscribers who's been enjoying my content. I can't thank you guys enough. If it wasn't for you guys, I would never be able to get anywhere. Thank you for smashing that subscribe button. Thank you for liking, and thank you for the criticism. Thank you for all those comments. The constructive criticism is actually helping me learn from my mistakes, and it is greatly appreciated. I'm only human. I do have 2 college degrees, but just because I have 2 college degrees doesn't mean I'm a rocket scientist. So forget about it. On that note, I'll catch you guys in a little bit. I hope you enjoy the rest of the show, and thank you for subscribing, and I hope you really do share the channel, and the guys who are viewing do smash that subscribe button. Alright, forget about it. Now, the beautiful thing about Florida is I'm able to wear shorts and t-shirt in the middle of February. It's not even the middle of February. But today, I went over to Bronson's Liquors. I met up with Josh, who is actually the store manager. He permitted me to do a video there, and I found some of the most affordable bourbons out of all the liquor stores I've gone to so far. They also have 5 store picks. They sent me home with a Stranahan sample. In my closeout video, I'll show you guys what I picked up, but you'll have to tune in until I release that video after this one. Well, without any further ado, we're going to Bronson's Liquors. Forget about it. Take it easy and enjoy the show. Wow! Hello everybody, how you doing? This is the Exotic Bourbon Hunter coming to you from Bronson's Liquors over here in Winter Garden at 9245 Miley Drive in Winter Garden. Brian Patel is the manager. We're about to see a nice little bit of a bourbon selection here. I was recommended to come here last week, and I am very impressed with what they have to offer. Stay tuned and enjoy the beautiful selections ahead. Bronson Liquors, and as we walk in, we're going to go right in here, and we are actually privileged enough to be able to see their store picks over here. They are going to have their Rittenhouse store picks. Are really something to write home about. You can never go wrong with a Rittenhouse store pick. They've got their Restoration Rye from Castle and Key. They also have their Old Elk rum cast finished. Then they have their Stranahan's Cash Strength and their Bradshaw. I'm probably going to pick up a bottle of this Rittenhouse, but we're going to see what time of day it is. I'm really thinking about that. But also, as you come in here, we got some of these nice little gift sets left over from Christmas. We got the Salted Caramel Crown Royal. They got some Crown Royal Noble Collection. And then some other goodies here left over from the holidays. Hey, maybe you get it on sale, but they got some Screwball over here. And they also have some Don Julio Primavera. And then from there, we're going to go jump right into their bourbon selection here. And we start into their Canadian whiskeys. We got the Crown Royal Black coming in at 50 beans, into the Salted Caramel and the Russell's 6 and the Russell's 10. The Russell's 10 is phenomenal. If you are just getting into the bourbon game, you have to pick up a bottle of Russell's 10. It's not going to break your bank account, and it's a phenomenal choice for you to get started with. Now we're going to continue into the Fireball. Everyone knows about Fireball, into the Crown Royal Reserve. And then we have our Crown Royal Vanilla, Apple, and then regular Crown Royal. From there, we go into our Seagram 7, into some Ballotin Bourbon, and then our Elvis Bourbon. And hey, that's the way we do it, Elvis Bourbon. And then we go down, we have our Dough Ball, into some Bareface, into the Seagrams and the Canadian Club. Now we're going to go back up here into the Russell's Reserve Rye Whiskey and the Jefferson's Ocean. The Jefferson's Ocean is actually aged at sea, which means they bring the barrels onto a ship and they age it on a ship while it's at sea. We're also going to go into their Jefferson's Reserve. We have our Angel's Envy coming in at 50 beans and the rye coming in at 90 beans. Then we have our Horse Soldier products. Each one of these bottles of Horse Soldier has been cast from the steel of the World Trade Center. So it's one cast where they pour the molten glass into, and then they forge the glass bottles from that steel, which was from the World Trade Center. There's a lot of good stories behind this brand. And I actually just bought that bottle of Horse Soldier over here, which has the signature on it. And then from there, we're going to go into our Uncle Nearest. I've heard quite a bit of good things about Uncle Nearest. Let me know in the comments your opinions on Uncle Nearest. Should I pick up a bottle? I don't know. I'm a little skeptical. And then we also have our New Rift. From New Rift, we're going to go into the Yellowstone and the Heaven Hill. I have a bottle of Heaven Hill, but I have not cracked it open. I think today is going to be the day that I crack that open. Now we go down, we have our Bardstown, the original series, into the Larceny. And then we also have our Elijah Craig. We have the rye. And then we also have the Father of Bourbon, the regular bourbon whiskey, straight bourbon whiskey. From there, we have our Jim Beam. Jim Beam's okay. I do enjoy the Jim Beam Black Extra Age, and for the price, you can't go wrong. You know, 20 beans, pick that up, have a nice weekend with that. And then we go down here, we have our Stag, the Red Stag from Jim Beam, into the Honey, the Peach, and the Apple. And then from there, we go down, we have our Short Barrel, into the Rittenhouse Rye, into the Wise Man, into the Addictive Whiskey. Now, usually these fancy bottles you should stay away from. I have not had the juice in this bottle. I've been a little scared to get it. Now, below, we're going to go down into our early times and our Benchmark products. Benchmark is never, ever something to sleep on. Look at these, you know, $13.99 for top floor, 16 beans for small batch. You got 19 beans for single barrel. You got $23.99 for single barrel. Full proof is $21.99. I might have to pick up a bottle of full proof here. You can't. This is the cheapest I've ever seen it, guys. This is the place to get some Benchmark. Wow. Now we have our Ancient Age here, great for some old fashions. Now we're going to go back up here into our Garrison Brothers. We have the Honeydew. We have our Sagamore Rye into the Southern Comfort. And then we have our Old Grandad and Old Grandad Bonded. Now we're also going to go into our Bullet Rye here. Bullet Single Malt. That's the first time I've seen that single malt. We have our 50 beans for the big bottle of Bullet Bourbon. We have our Bullet Bourbon 10. And then we're going to go back into our Smoke Wagon here. We got the Smoke Wagon uncut, unfiltered for 65 beans. I might have to pick this up. Holy moly. I think I'm going to pick up a bottle here. That's insane. We have some good prices here. Now we're going to go back up and we have our Basil Hayden. Basil Hayden is just the higher end of Jim Beam. I'm not a particular fan of Basil Hayden, but if it's the only thing around, I'll drink it. Then we're going to go up here. We have our Old Forester into the Four Roses. Four Roses single barrel. I'm about to kill my first bottle of this. It's delicious. And, you know, for 40 beans, you just can't go wrong. You don't have to spend, you know, $200 on a bottle. If you want to, you can. Then we're going to go up here and we have our Rabbit Hole. We have our Rabbit Hole Rye, Rabbit Hole Bourbon Whiskey, and then Rabbit Hole Straight Bourbon Whiskey finished in a sherry cast. And then they have a nice lineup of Peerless here. We got Peerless Bourbon, Peerless Rye, Peerless High Rye, and they have the Double Oak here. It's only the second place I'm seeing the Double Oak at. The other place was Ox Liquors. Here it's 100 beans. And then from there, we keep going into the Old Forester. We have the Bottle and Bond, and also the original batch, into the Statesman. And then we're going to continue over here into the Whistling Pig. Whistling Pig 10-year and 12-year are absolutely delicious. And if you have a chance to get the 15-year, that will knock your socks off. That's finished in an oak cask. From there, we got the Michter's lineup here. And the price for Michter's is very, very good here, coming in at 43 beans. Also have our Baker's 8. And you'll always see up here, Baker's 8, you'll see the years and the months. Sometimes this will be over 8 years. It'll wind up being into the 9-year range. But you take a look there and you'll find out. And then from there, we got our Woodford Reserve. They have the Double Oak. And to the Rye. And then we have our Heaven's Door. We also have our straight rye and the double barrel whiskey. We're going to go back down here into the Maker's Mark, and I struck out again. There are still no slam dunks that I have found, although there was one in the back that was teasing me. And then we have our Jack Daniels. This is going to be our single barrel proof, coming in at 129 proof, or 64.60 ABV. We have our Rye Barrel Select, and then we have our single barrel Rye, and then we have our bonded triple mashed, and we have our bonded Rye. From there, we have our Gentleman's Jack into regular Jack Daniels. And then we're going to go back over here, and we have our Widow Jane 10-year. Once again, look at that. $69.99 for a bottle of Widow Jane 10-year. This is the place to come. If you guys are looking for some good bourbon, come over here to Bronson's Liquors. You're not going to be disappointed. You have the Applewood Rye here, and the Paradigm Rye. And then we have our Redwood Empire. And then we go into our Noble Oak. We even have Travelers here coming in at 35 beans. We have High West going into the Long Branch and the Wild Turkey. They do have Wild Turkey rare breed here, and they also have the barrel proof rye. And then we're going to continue over here into the Revival Straight Bourbon Whiskey coming in at 90 beans. Then we have our Blue Note. I still have never had Blue Note. Let me know if I should pick up a bottle of Blue Note. Let me know which bottle of Blue Note I should pick up. Then we're going to continue over here into our Penelope. They do have the Architect here. And then they also have the Barrel Strength into the Chicken Cock and the Chicken Cock Double Oak. Now we're going to go down here. They have their Yellowstone. This is coming in at 102 proof, better yet. That would be 51% ABV. They got your Old Elk into the RD1. Unfortunately, they didn't have the RD1 rye, which I'm looking for. You know someone who has the RD rye, RD1 rye, let me know in the comments. Let me know where I can pick that up. I'm willing to make a little trip for that. Then we go into our Wyoming whiskey. Filibuster. I've never had Filibuster bourbon. If you guys have had Filibuster bourbon, don't hesitate to let me know in the comments what that's all about. And then we're going to go down into our Cooper Craft, Old Ezra. And then we got our Old Tub. And then we're going to continue into the Four Branches, coming in at 87 beans. And then we got our Dickel over here. We're going into our Two Trees, Evan Williams. And then we continue. We have our Philadelphia. Fortunately, there's really nothing impressive down here on the bottom shelf. It's Cast and Crew. All right. Now, We're going to go and take a look at what's up at the front. Also, I don't want to forget to bring you this over here. We have the Widow Jane Lucky 13, and then the Woodford Reserve Masters Collection. This is coming in at 100 and I believe 50 beans. They have the 13 Colonies Rye and the 13 Colonies Bourbon, and then they have their Nulu over here. Quite a bit of their Nulu selection. Into the Remus Gatsby Reserve, their Rittenhouse Store Pick. They have the Remus Repeal over here, the High Rise Store Pick into the Stranahans. They have the Bootleg Series over here in the Calumet 16, and then they got the Smoke Wagon products. Okay. Do a little bit of sample of their High West Store Pick. This is going to be the Cask Collection. Right now I'm getting some amazing hints of oak out of this. I'm impressed so far. I might also pick up a bottle of their High West Store Pick. All right, now here behind the corner, we're going to have a bunch of surprises here. We're going to start off with the Crown Royal 30 coming in at 600 beans. They got the Jeffersons over here coming in at 300 beans. And this Widow Jane the Vault, this is 250 beans, but this is going to be the 14-year. It's not the 15-year, just keep that in mind. And then we have our Remus Straight Bourbon. We have a little bottle of some Jack Daniel's barrel proof, and that's coming in at 130.2 proof. It's a nice little bit of kick there. And then we got our Maker's Mark French Oak. And then we're going to kind of continue. These are all their little bottles. I know a lot of you guys collect these little bottles, but we have the Crown Royal bottles here into the Maker's Mark. And then we have our Knob Creek little bottles here. They have the Woodford Reserve and the Double Oak in the little bottles. We have some Elijah Craig. Then we go into the Bullet over here. And then we have some of the whiskeys. Now above that, we have our Old Forester into the High West. These are the little bottles. And then we're going to go in here. We have our cognacs. And then from the cognacs, from the cognacs, we then get to graduate. We have our Garrison Brothers. We have the 115 proof, and we also have 107 proof over here into the Remus Repeal Reserve. That's coming in at 110 beans. And then we go into our Whistling Pig. We have the Summer Stock, Farm Stock Rye, and then the 15-year Estate Oak Rye. This is the one I was talking about. And then we also have the Double Malt Whistling Pig 18 here, coming in at 350 beans. I've never seen this one. And then here's the Garrison Brothers. This is a true hazmat bottle. This is coming in at 140 proof. This is going to singe the nose hairs out of your nose. This is some good stuff, but I'll tell you this, be prepared for a darn good kick. And then from there, we have some Macallan Rare Cast. That's going to be some scotch for you. We have some tequila here. And then we have the Last Drop. And that's going to be a signature blend, straight whiskey. That's coming in at 4,000 beans. So if you got some deep pockets, this is the place to go for that. We have the Jack Daniel's Sinatra here, coming in at 170 beans. And then we have the Blue Run Rye Whiskey. And this is going to be coming in at 350 beans into the Whistling Pig 21 year. 21 years coming in at 900 beans. Then we have the Whistling Pig Boss Hog coming in at 800 beans. They have the Wild Turkey Master's Keep coming in at 400 beans. And then they have some more goodies over here in the other showcase. All right, over here we're going to continue with the glass case. They got this fancy tequila up here with the horse and the keg over here. This comes in at 350 beans. And we got some other tequilas here. The Don Julio, they have the 1942. We also have the Ultimate Reserve. We have the Tears of Lorana. And then we have our Scotch. We got our McLaren 25 coming in at 3,000 beans. We have our McLaren 18. We have our 15. And then we have our Leopold Brothers. And then we can continue over here into the Glenfiddich. We have the 21, the 18, and then we have Whistling Pig, the Boss Hog, number 8, coming in at 2,000 beans. And they have the Sweetened Cove coming in at 200 beans. Above, we have the Blade and Bow. We have our St. Augustine's Distillery here, and then the Rare Stash. And then we go into the glass case. We have the Heaven Hill. We have Bardstown. We have the collaboration series here, Bardstown Discovery. We have the Four Squares, and that's the collaborative series. We got some more over here, Discovery series, more of the collaboratory series, and then we're going to come up here into more tequila. And then we're going to go reaching for the stars. We've got this tequila up here, nice and fancy tequila bottles here. That comes, what's that? That's the Casino Azul. That is one fancy piece right there. Wow. It almost looks like a bong full of tequila. We have our other, the Glass Azul. That's coming in, that's 1,800 beans. And up top here, we're going to reach for the stars again. We have the Woodford Baccarat coming in at 2,000 beans. Bellamore, we have the 300. We have the Glenfiddich Grand Cru. And then the Glenfiddich, what's that last one there?
That is, oh man, I can't read it.
All right.
There's so many of them. That's grand.
You guys might be able to find out what that one is. It's too far away from my eyes. I'm getting old. Everyone, that's going to wrap up the episode over here at Bronson's Liquors. I'm going to tell you this. I am so impressed with the prices here. This is the place to come. Bronson Liquors. I'm going to do a little follow-up here on the two things I bought here. I was very impressed. I wound up buying this Smoke Wagon uncut, unfiltered. And I bought their Rittenhouse store pick too. I am super excited to enjoy these later on this afternoon while I smoke some meats in the smoker. Forget about it. Bada bing, bada boom.